this live martial arts class, we talk about the most effective self-defense weapon. Not all these weapons are martial arts, but they're all martial arts related. Now, let's get the obvious out of the way. We'll talk about the obvious and we'll talk about the esoteric. I don't know if that's the right word, but we'll figure it out. Number one, the gun, right? Everybody's gonna say, not everybody, most people will say the gun. That's obviously the most effective self-defense tool. However, and if you can carry one and that's your choice, that's fine. I have done that in the past. I was in the military. I'm not against guns. I'm not anti-gun. I'm not talking about anything about the politics of guns. We're just talking about, can you carry it everywhere you go? You can't take it into a bank. You can't take it into your kid's school. You can't take it into the buildings, federal buildings. You certainly can't take it onto a plane or even into the airport. So we're going to just rule that out and we're going to say yes and. Yes and. Also, think about this. When you are out and about, the country's a little crazy right now, the world's a little crazy, tensions are high, stress is everywhere, crime is going up, you don't feel comfortable or safe, it's a gray situation. It's not black and white. The guy has got a knife and he's coming at you, that's black and white. You've got the gun and you appendix carry and you're ready, right? That's black and white. That's easy. We understand that. But let's say you're walking to your car outside at night and there's a guy on the corner and he approaches you and you're not comfortable. You're taking your gun out, stick it in the face because you don't feel safe and comfortable. So what I'm talking about is in every situation, it's not going to be the best, most effective self-defense weapon. But I'm not saying that it isn't effective, it doesn't work. So that's the most obvious. That's out of the way. We're taking guns out of the discussion. And number two, the idea that your brain, your body is a weapon. I understand that. We're going to rule that out. We're not saying that it's not. We're just saying that that's not what we're talking about in this video. We're talking about tools. We're talking about martial arts or martial arts related weapons because I'm a martial artist. So I'm going to start from the least obvious and kind of ridiculous, which is the Kung Fu fan, right? And I love the Kung Fu fan, and I love to think about it as an effective self-defense tool. So you can use it like you would a stick, like a Korean short stick, a little bit more than the Yawara, the Japanese short stick or the palm stick, but it's the same idea. You hold it here, you squeeze it tight. Usually these are made out of rattan. So they're a little flexible, they're very strong. You can jab, you can come across like a punch to the face. You can strike in this way, hitting them here in their temple. You can gouge the eyeball out. You can stick it in their neck. That hurt. You can smack them here, right? And then traditionally you would open it, you block like this, block here, block your leg, and then you have the spines there, which are a little bit harder than your skin, and sometimes they're made out of metal. You can stop an attack from slashing, and then you close it again, boom, and then you're hitting. So yes, the fan is an effective weapon, but not my first choice because it's also a fan. So I don't know what else to say about it. It's a really cool thing. It's fun to think about. Well, I want to carry a practical self-defense weapon. I'm going to walk around, get hot, got to fan myself down. Now I'm a threat. Back up. Yeah, you can do it for that. So we'll put that on the list, but I'm going to put this at the bottom of my list. Number two, the knife, right? And they're not in any particular order, except the fan that's at the bottom. The knife, especially this one, if you get caught with this knife, walking into most places, it's just like the gun. They're going to take this away from you if you go in the airport. In some areas, this type of knife, the Switchblade, and you have two kinds of switchblades. You have the one that pops up here, then you have the Switchblade comb. You comb your hair. That's not what this is. It's a knife. I made sure I had the right side. I have the butterfly knife. I should have got that too. But you've got this one. You can't carry this one. So yes, effective in theory, but it does a lot of damage. And it's just like the gun. You pull this out when you don't feel comfortable and you say, hey man, back up. All of a sudden, all the cameras pop out and they're doing the video of you. You're in big trouble, right? They're gonna say the guy had a knife. What's he doing walking around with a knife? And you're in trouble, right? So this I would not carry because you're gonna be in trouble. But you could carry a knife for opening boxes. I carry a knife for things like that. So it's not that you wouldn't have a knife, but carrying a knife for personal protection, everyday carry, EDC, this isn't my first choice. This isn't even on my list, but that doesn't mean you can't put it on your list. And by the way, this is a discussion. I would like to see in the comment section what you think about all these ideas and what your ideas are, right? Because I don't know everything, and I'm not always right. Now, the next one is one of my favorites. I got this when I was a military policeman. It's a version of a tonfa, a Japanese tonfa. But you can see, if you have a tonfa, I didn't bring the tonfa over, it's longer here and it's longer here, giving you more options to protect, especially if you're in that good flinch block, to strike. You put all this force and energy, you strike, this goes right through someone's face, through someone's throat. It's designed to go right into that spot between the belly button and their private parts, that thin muscle, the fascia, that's gonna stick somebody on the ground. You can swing it this way, and you can see it hits extremely hard. You can switch your hand position and use that just like you would a hammer or a hook. And so it's extremely effective. It has a lot of different techniques, and you can learn a lot of different ones that you can use for these. But yes, these are illegal. Almost everywhere you cannot carry a monadnock. That's the name of the company that makes it. This is made out of a hard polymer. This thing doesn't break. PR24, that's the model number, PR24. Monadnock PR20 is a law enforcement tool. So you have to have a law enforcement reason. The only reason I have it is because I was law enforcement in the military, and then I learned how to train with it, and then I got certified to teach it for a while, and then I just, I had my own from classes, all the things, and it's a very effective self-defense tool or weapon. But if you get caught with it, you can't take it to the bank, you can't take it onto the plane, you certainly can't take it to your kid's school. This is not an effect. And if you have it on the driver's side seat of your car and you pull up to pump your gas in a shady neighborhood and the police officer comes up and looks in there are lots of questions. Are you allowed to have that one? If you call it a tonfa, you're allowed to have a tonfa. It's this one specifically. You can't have this one specifically, but yes, if you make your own, you can have a side-handled baton or a tonfa. That's what this is, but you can't have this particular one. You can carry the tonfa and look like one of the Ninja Turtles, right? Which is a choice, nothing wrong with that. Good morning. Now, the next one is the club. Ancient, effective, extremely effective, right? I don't want to hit that too bad because I think, or hard, I think I could pop it open with this. This is a 2-pound Indian swinging club, and I use this to get stronger, healthier shoulders, a better grip, but it also would be a very effective self-defense weapon or tool. And you could probably get away, because this looks like it could be silly, like a bowling pin. People say a bowling pin. Looks kind of like a bowling pin, and they'll say, what are you, a juggler? Because they think that you're out there juggling with it, unless they know, it's a fitness device. You can say, I'm going to fitness class, so you can carry it with you, but it's not that effective, not that practical. It's effective, not that practical. The reason it's effective is these started out as a weapon. In a lot of the princes, a lot of the lords and ladies, or whatever they're called, in India, would carry these, and they would effectively just, you'd bash somebody. Now it would be self-defense, so you could carry it, but I wouldn't. It's not on my list. Now the next one of my favorite tools to mess around with, pretend Bruce Lee, going around here, around back of the neck. There it is. Had to think about that one. Like that, twisting through the hands. You could certainly give somebody a really good show. And if you had to, and by the way, if you're spinning it, you hold it here and you spin it. And then if you're defending yourself, this is for show, that gives you speed. For self-defense, very effective. You hold it here, illegal in most places. A lot of places you can't carry this one. I think California, the whole state, maybe New York, the whole state, you still can't have these. Even though I think it's silly, I think you could do more damage with this than you could with this. You could certainly, do more damage with a lot of other things that are legal. Good, it's good to see you, Marius. But this one, great, effective in many areas, many ways, but not practical, so it's not on my self-defense. It's about everyday carry. What can you carry with you every day? Take anywhere you go. Take this to the airport, you're losing them. You're taking them away. Take this to some city buildings. They think you're part of Antifa, and they're going to put you in the jail after they take it away. So don't carry this one, not effective. If you do have it and you're going to class, you put it in your bottom of your backpack and say, hey, I was going to class, start to 30, here's my uniform. I don't know. But you can't have this in your car. You can't put this in the front seat of the car. If you do, you have to put it in the trunk or at the very back where you can't reach it, right? Because they're, like I said, they're illegal. In some places, they're illegal altogether. You can't have it at all. It's kind of like that PR-24. This is probably the most illegal, but this one and the other one I'm going to show you here next. Yeah, I love the whip. I don't have a whip, but I have the space here to get one. So I'll get a whip. And the chain and the ball, and the ball and the sickle, all those are super effective because you create, let's say 25 feet away, you're hitting somebody. But then you mess up and you drop it, or you run into something, the guy picks it up, and then you're in trouble. All right, this one, back to our discussion. And again, this is a discussion. Please put in the comment section what you think. What am I missing, or what do you think about what I'm saying, or what's better, what you think works. All right, this is sold on Amazon, probably illegally, as a tire knocker or a window breaker, but what it really is an expandable baton. And I've beaten the snot out of this thing, showing you that yes, you can hit hard, but not nearly as hard as my favorite weapon that's on this list. We're gonna do that last. But this thing, yes, you can strike. You can't strike this very much because it's gonna collapse. There we go. But you can whip it out real fast. A lot of law enforcement carry this. There are tons of videos on the internet where you see poorly trained police officers, and this is not against police officers because I love my police officers, but they'll agree. If you talk to any law enforcement, most of them will say, yeah, I wish I had more training. So they'll agree with me. And those who know about this, they'll say, yeah, I agree. That's not that effective. A guy's all hopped up on the fentanyl and coked out or whatever, and their adrenaline's running, and they're trying to get away, and the cops just smashing them with this thing, right? And they might have bruising later, they might even break a bone, but it's not as effective as a longer weapon, which I'm going to show you in a minute. Plus, it's illegal. This is as illegal as the PR-24, and for the same reason. Law enforcement weapon, law enforcement weapon. Like I said, they sell these on Amazon. That's where Amazon needs to do a better job with their filters, I guess. Some Chinese drop ship garbage, and that's not a dig against all China or Chinese people. That's about Alibaba and AliExpress and all these, usually American people, tricking the algorithm, calling this a window knocker or a tire knocker, and it's really something they shouldn't be selling. And it's poorly made. This thing eventually is going to break. I could probably break it now with enough force because of the poorly way that it's made. But it costs money. And this is my biggest complaint about a lot of that Alibaba, AliExpress garbage that you see on the drop shipping stuff, is that people are making dollars off of it, money off of it. It's like those expandable bow staffs. You've seen those, right? Expandable staff. Garbage. Don't ever buy those. That's just a waste of your money. You won't get more than one use out of it, and you can cut your hand because it's cheap, thin metal. And it's really designed as a magician's trick. It's not a staff. But they sell it as a collapsible staff. And it's this big. You know what I'm talking about, right? Garbage. Pure garbage. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your money on these either. You can see it's already fallen apart. Anyway, I shouldn't have to do that. All right. Oh, we're almost there. One of my favorites, Collie Sticks, a Screamer Arnis, whatever you want to call them. You can strike with these. These are made out of aluminum. They hit extremely hard. They have these tiger teeth at the end, which will open up some flesh. You can defend yourself. This is more questionable. If a police officer pulls you over or picks you up off the road, you have these stuff in your backpack, like I do always. I usually have a wooden pair in my get-home bag that's in my car. In the bug-out bag at the house, I've got a pair of these because I just think it's an effective self-defense tool. Plus, I can do all my Indian club stuff, keep my shoulders strong and healthy. It's fun for me, to practice this way. So these are great tools. This pair comes from combative.com with a K, if they're still out there. Strike strike, all kinds of strikes. You hold it at the end, the same we did with that fan at the beginning, jab. If you know what you're doing, you can strip a knife, strip another weapon out of somebody's hand. If they have a knife and all you have is this, who's gonna win, right? Not that you're necessarily gonna win, because there's a lot of stuff involved. But you've got reach compared to their knife, right? They're coming at you with a hand, you're over here, you're smashing that hand. You're smashing them right for self-defense. So they have this, you have a force multiplier, you have more options with this stick. So this is number 2, but still I think could be questioned, and I know for a fact, because I have a friend who's, I have a lot of friends who are law enforcement, but I had a friend in Ohio and I asked him, I said, hey, if you pulled me over for speeding or a taillight or whatever, and you saw these on the floor of the front seat or on the front seat of the passenger side car, what would you say? He said, I would take them from you and I would probably write you a citation for having a weapon on the front seat, because that would qualify as a weapon. So I can't take this to the gas station without worrying, is that gonna happen? Is law enforcement gonna see that and say, hey, what are you doing carrying? Those should be in the back, those are weapons. You know, because they're sticks. Can you take them on a plane? Nope. Can't take them through the Air Force, not the Air Force, the airport security, they'll take them from you. Most places you can't take them into a bank. You know, take these in the bank, sticking out of the back of your thing, and they'll have a SWAT team out front by the time you cash your check. If you can even get to the bank, they've closed them all, you gotta go through the drive-thru. But you get my point. These, second, super effective, give you so many options for length, for pure speed, power, for all that stuff. Then, here we go, number 1, it's right here, it's my walking cane. Now, the walking cane is a mobility device. If you live in the United States, the Americans with Disabilities Act, the ADA, allows you to carry this and not have a doctor's note, not have any kind of certificate saying that you're allowed to carry it. If you concealed carry a handgun, you have to have training, you have to have the license, and then you can't take it most places. You can't take it to the bank, can't take it to the plane, can't take it, et cetera, et cetera. This, go through TSA checkpoint security, you know, they x-ray it. Then you get it back, and you walk to your gate, and then you sit down on the plane, and you can stick this right between your knees. And you've got one of the most effective martial arts tools for self-defense, an effective self-defense tool, because you can strike basic strikes, extremely hard, extremely powerful. You can jab like the end of a rifle, like a rifle butt, like a rifle bayonet. You can strike, you can defend yourself against multiple attackers. That rabid dog's coming down the street. You can defend yourself against a pack of them, pack of pit bulls that are just running around hurting people. Yes, well, yeah, but here's the thing. I had this conversation just 10 minutes before I started this. Someone said, it's so sad, the whole world, this and that. And I said, yes, if you want to look at that, or you can think of it as, I'm going to be prepared so I don't have to panic, but then I'm going to shift my focus, and I'm going to look at the smile of the children, and I'm going to look at the beautiful sun today, because it's sunny and it's beautiful. And there's so many nice people in my day, and so many people trying to help me, and so many people kind, like you guys, super kind to me, nice. Last video I did, I got like all these 5 stickers, 5 super chats. And it's all about what you focus on. Be prepared, but also look around and say, you know what? I start every day with a gratitude. I sit there, especially like this morning. Yesterday I worked so many hours in so many classes, so many workouts. I woke up this morning, my feet are all cracked open. You know, the calluses are opening up, and it's painful to walk. My muscles hurt, and I sit down with my cup of coffee, and I close my eyes for a few minutes, take a few deep breaths, and I think, thank you for waking me up today. Thank you that I get another chance. And then I just go through my list. And you can do that too. So yes, it is sad to think that the world is a dangerous place. The world's always been a dangerous place, and it's been much worse than it is now. But when we're talking about this, we're simply talking about, what are your options? Give yourself a little bit more confidence. Give yourself a fun way to improve your fitness, because you can do this, and then you can practice, you can get that sweat going, you start to burn some calories, you start to go through all those ranges of motion, learn how to do this, learn how to do that, learn how to hook, learn how to hook their neck and pull them down, drive the elbow. Not because you're a bad person or the world's a dangerous place, but so that you don't have to feel afraid to leave your house all the time. So you don't have to have that perspective that everything's negative and nasty and difficult and tough. It's not. It's not. It's like the Jim Rohn quote. He would say, you know, his grandfather told him that the world's not a nasty place. There are only about 5 or 10 really ugly, nasty people in the whole world. And then the joke was, the punchline is that they move around a lot, so you might run into them from time to time. But there's only 5 or 10, and you can handle that, and that's the truth. You can handle the few nasty people that are out there who might wish you harm, but then you're prepared for that. It's only 5 or 10 people, right? I mean, not literally, but you get my point. Most people are good. Most people want to have a great life, and they want to help other people have a great life. And you want to have a great life, and you want to help other people have a great life. So teach them how to defend themselves with the walking cane, because that's going to unlock so much potential for their life. They're going to get out of the house and start walking again. They're going to leave and feel a little bit more confident. And if they need to use a cane, they're not going to feel like a decrepit, feeble old person or injured person. They're going to start to move better, and they're going to start to move their body more, get more oxygen in there. Their chemistry gets better. They're not depressed and lonely and upset and angry all the time. They start to see the little flowers budding, and they see the smile of the children, and they start to feel the warmth of the sun in their skin. And it's all because they learned how to use this. It's why I love this as the most effective self-defense weapon, the self-defense cane. Because, I mean, look at it, right? There's nothing special there. This gets you in trouble. The bad guys got this. The worst thing that could happen is they get up close and they just lacerate everything. So when they're out here, look how long that is compared to that. Yeah, cane foo's good. I like cane foo. I like my style better, which is, it's nothing against cane foo. Cane foo's good too. Anything that you learn is good. It's not good or bad, it's different. Cane foo's a little different. It's based on Kung Fu. My first style of cane was based on Hapkido, which is more joint locks, pressure points. And then I did a lot of the Collie, Salada, Screama, fighting with sticks and knives, learning how to do that kind of stuff. And then it all applies here, which is cool. But then some of it comes back from the Marine Corps day, right? Fixed bayonets, you ran out of bullets. They're coming through the wire. And so you've got that basic rifle strike. And then the rifle butt. And it's super simple, but that's why I like it so much. I don't want you to learn super duper fancy techniques that are gonna get you hurt when you're trying to remember, what did he say? Twist it 280 degrees to the right and then come in to the left and then do this. I don't want you doing all that. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what you learn. I want you to kick him in the knee and then defend yourself. I want you to put your hands up and say, back up. You don't have to like me, but you can't talk to me like that. You don't have to like me, but you can't touch me. You don't have to like me or what I stand for, or who I am, or what I believe, or how I live my life, but you have no right to touch me. You have no right to hurt me, take anything from me. You have no right to take my dignity, my life. You have no right to touch my family, my kids. I'll defend myself. And then you put that stick between you and the threat, and it's a force multiplier. You already have everything you need. You have your hands, you have your brain, and then you've got that. All right, that's all I've got for this. I'm gonna come back and do another one of these in just a little bit. I'm gonna show you how to use it. Thank you so much. Please put your comments down below. Tell me what you think and share.